How's it going, everyone? I want to talk about why I'll be buying here soon and what I'll be buying here soon and my thought process behind it. So, this is going to be a little bit different. Usually, I'm with my nice camera and I have the lights on and everything, but today was kind of a crappy day, right? In the growth stock market, unless you were buying. So, you know what? We're going to change it up. Mostly, it's because I actually am a bit of a time constraint here, but I want to go over what's happening in the market right now. Now, I've been talking about a lot of different things on the channel, altcoins, cryptocurrency. I talked about Catcoin and the craziness that's happening in the altcoin market and how it was kind of like what the SPAC market seemed to be like a couple months ago and how everyone wanted to get in on SPACs. Now it seems like everyone wants to get in on cryptocurrencies and altcoins. And at the same time, we're seeing this, right? We're seeing all these cryptocurrencies that are going up in price. Like if you're not in crypto right now and you're in growth stocks, you don't have any exposure to crypto, it probably hurts to see this, right? I mean, Tether, which is just tethered to, I believe it's the US dollar, is the only one that's red here on the 7 day or on the 1 day. So you see all these gains and you're just sitting out. You see Dogecoin, which is going up 100% a day, it seems like, but not really, like 50% a day. It's crazy. At the same time, we're seeing this. I mean, we could look back and say, hey, what happened to GHVI? This was supposed to be the stock of the decade. Look, it went from $24 down to under 12 today. It's down 51%. It actually went to 11.83. And look at this. This is by the Motley Fool. What, 3 months ago? This could be the stock of the decade, talking about all the potential in this company. At the same time, we have more and more stocks falling off. Muds, which was up a significant amount today. It's a swing play for me. I got in at $11 about 4 weeks ago or so now. Is down literally 10% throughout the day with no news. We have VYGVF, which was up pretty significantly. They had huge news on cryptocurrency exchange that, well, they are a cryptocurrency exchange, but on the fact that they're going to add stock to their platform, and that's going to be huge. It's going to bring in a lot of big people. It's going to be with a very large and well-known company. Since then, traded down 5%. We have Peloton crashing down 15%. Tattooed Chef going down too. Palantir going down. No one cares about these stocks. At least that's what it seems like. But I'm going to start buying here pretty heavily here soon. Now, if you guys don't mind just hitting the like button, I really appreciate that. It helps out the channel a lot. It helps spread this to more people because I think there's just a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the market right now. And I think this will make people feel a little bit better. Also, there is a link down there to Webull in case you want a couple free stocks. I mean, I can't make you money in the market right now. It seems like no one can make money in the market right now. And I'm not a financial advisor anyway. So don't take what I say as financial advice or investment advice. But I can give you some free money on Webull. If you sign up using that link, you can get up to $1,450. Also, there's a link down there to BlockFi. So in case you want to invest in cryptocurrency, Bitcoin has stayed pretty stagnant for the last couple weeks. It hit a nice support and it's starting to break out a little bit. If you guys want, there is a link down there. You can also invest in stablecoin. It doesn't move in price and they give you a $250 bonus depending on how much you put in there. So definitely, if you guys are interested, check that out because I think it's a great platform. So right now, we have a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt around not only growth stocks, right? A lot of people are talking about, like, over the last couple months, there have been these recovery stocks, and people were transitioning out of those. A lot of people, or a lot of big money, is actually shorting the market, buying puts, and they are trying to force down the price because they think that they can make money short term, especially with inflation fears. We have CPI data coming out next week. Now, I'll tell you exactly what I plan on buying. Just keep in mind, there are certain stocks that I would be more than willing to buy if they fall enough. So this isn't a bullet point list that won't change, but it is my plan moving forward as of now. So we have all this fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And I think a lot of people are forgetting the fact that these are going to be great companies years from now. So right now, everyone's looking, what's the next 20% gain? What's the next 50% gain? What's the next 100% gain in the next couple days? And you see that because, heck, I mean, Dogecoin's going up hundreds of percent. So it's really easy to feel like you're missing out because some people are becoming Dogecoin millionaires. I mean, we had that with GameStop. We had that with AMC. It's kind of the culture right now, which is that, 10% gain is not good enough. even in a month, 10% gain is not good enough. People are looking for more than that. People are looking for the next thing to get behind, almost like emotionally, right? So people are looking for those next stocks. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but it's drawing attention away from a lot of these other retail favorites, right? Everyone's talking about Dogecoin right now. Not too many people are talking about Palantir, Tattooed Chef, GHVI, these other companies. So it's just drawing more attention away. And I know people are sitting there watching 5 Dogecoin videos a day and trying to learn as much about Dogecoin and price action of Dogecoin as opposed to any of these other companies. So we're in an interesting position where a lot of these companies are in really good spots. I mean, Peloton. I bought Peloton for the first time today because they had horrible news, right? They had horrible news that they had to recall 125,000 treadmills. However, how expensive is that for the company, right? I mean, think about it. If the treadmills cost a couple thousand for them to make, let's say it costs $2,000 for them to make, it's a pain in the butt. They're probably going to be legal fees and stuff like that too. But let's say it's $2,000 per 125K, or for each of those 125K treadmills. That's 250 million. Okay, that is horrible, right? But last time I checked, they had a lot more than that on their balance sheet. That's a big portion of it, right? That's 20-30% of their cash. But that's not going to make them bankrupt or anything like that. That's not even going to really hurt them that much. So we're seeing their cash go down a little bit, but they're dropping 15% today. And of course, you could say, okay, it hurts their company, right? It hurts that people are hearing about Peloton in a negative way. They had to recall all these different treadmills. Well, this is not their main business. I don't think anyone's really worried about the cycle, right? No one's worried about that at all. And they've had negative press many times before. Let's not forget, this has been in the news for a year, maybe, or at least several months, where they've been talking about people being hurt by Peloton. I'd say the actual news that someone died from it, which is horrible, was much worse for the company than the recall. Now, I think that a lot of people would have guessed that we had some big things that were going to happen from there, but a lot of it wasn't priced in, obviously, because we're falling 15% today. So we're seeing a lot of negative catalysts, but is this worth it dropping 15%? I mean, this stock was a retail favorite. Everyone was talking about how it was a great deal. Even in the 150s, people were talking about the growth, right? They're growing 100% a year. And the CEO said, we're not planning on being able to grow 100% a year, but we're still planning on hyper growth. We're still planning on that. And now they're down 51%. They lost $25 billion off their market cap. Palantir coming out with earnings soon. A lot of people are worried about that, whether they actually are able to beat earnings. Are they able to beat? If they're not able to beat, then like a lot of other companies, right? A lot of other companies are just getting destroyed even when they beat. They're not doing well. So what if Palantir doesn't hit earnings? What about Peloton? Peloton's coming tomorrow. They constantly beat earnings significantly. Or maybe that's Palantir, actually, now I'm thinking about it. One of them has been crushing earnings, and they beat significantly on earnings per share and revenue. Off the top of my head, I can't actually remember. But it's interesting, right? We're seeing all these giant drops, and we have these companies that are going to be great, right? Palantir, I don't think anyone can argue that Palantir is going to be in a better place a couple of years from now than they are now. I mean, they're talking about working with BMW. They're talking about working with other large companies, governments, all kinds of agencies. We have Peloton, which I think is going to be in a much better position than they are now in a couple of years. Now, what can you do with this information? That is what you have to think about. Okay, it's great to know that they're falling down and everything, but what can we do? And right here, I'm just pulling up to see which company it was, because I did write it to my Patreon members. Shout out. If you guys want, there is a link down there to the Patreon where I tell everyone what I buy and sell every single day. So you can check that out down below. So I might not even be able to see it here. Yeah. So they have been, okay. This was Peloton. They've been crushing revenue and earnings per share every single quarter for over a year. So what can you do with this information? What stocks can you buy? Well, I think you buy the high conviction stocks that you are okay with seeing fall down 15, 20%, because that's the environment we're in right now. I've been talking about how I'm holding on to cash, and I bought a little bit yesterday. There were just some prices that were too good, and I did a video on that talking about, or maybe it's 2 days ago now, Time flies in the stock market. But talking about how I was going all in on 3 stocks, and that was Tattooed Chef, Palantir, and Teladoc. Well, they've fallen down, or they're right back where they were. Some other stocks are falling down. So I think deploying some cash, keeping some on the sidelines is the play. We have inflation data coming out. And the way I think about it is if the data comes back and it's negative, right? If it's really bad, that could send these stocks lower, but you have to keep some cash in case of that scenario. You have to put some to work now, because if the inflation data is good, these companies could easily go up pretty significantly. Like Peloton, would you be surprised if we got up to $100 by next week? Probably not, right? I mean, we haven't seen numbers like this since September? Since August? We haven't seen these numbers, low 80s, since September or August of last year. Same thing with a lot of these other companies. So it might make sense to throw a little bit of money at it. I'm specifically looking at buying. I want to buy a lot more Tattooed Chef. I'll just be honest with you. I also want to buy a little bit more Palantir. I would buy more GHVI if it comes down even a little bit more. I'd buy a lot of these other ones too. Voyager, I talked about that one. The reason I haven't been buying as much crypto is just because I'm heavily weighted in crypto. Like Voyager, like Coinbase, like CLSK. These are all crypto stocks. But think about it this way. If inflation data is really poor, it's usually bad for growth stocks, right? However, these companies are related to crypto. Crypto should do well if inflation data is really out of hand, because people are going to say, hey, we were right with Bitcoin. This is a store of value. We just saw a huge inflation that we haven't seen in years. And this is a store of value that you can't get in the US dollar. So a lot of people move over to crypto. Bitcoin goes up 20%. It's almost like this can't lose. Some of these, of course, if the data comes back poor, if it comes back that we have really high inflation, and then also for some reason the crypto market sells off, that would be horrible for these stocks. That would send them down like drastically. But if we're not assuming that crypto drops off the cliff here, whether the data comes back good or bad is probably going to be fine for these stocks, because you could look at both sides of it, right? Where, like I said, if inflation data comes back poor, it's good. And if it comes back good, it's good. So that's kind of how I think about that. But I am weighted pretty heavily in crypto. I have about 40% of my portfolio in crypto, but I wouldn't mind nibbling on some more of Voyager, of Coinbase, of CLSK. So I'm going to be continuously doing that. That's why I'm buying. That's why I am excited to buy. And the thing I'd leave you off on is, what would you have done in February, like mid-February, to go back 3 or 4 months and buy at those prices? And don't forget, the economy is in a better place than it was back then. Like, there's less fear, I think. The only thing that people are thinking about is inflation right now. I think that's the main fear. And then big money just getting out of stocks. Stock market isn't as crazy right now, so it doesn't seem like you'll just get 20% return on top of 20% return. It's not as easy as it once was. But what would you have given to go back 3 or 4 months to buy stocks? Like, I remember at the time, I couldn't build out positions because I would buy a stock and it would jump 20 or 30% in a few days, in a week. And I was thinking, I can't buy more of the stock. It's too expensive. So I'd be buying like 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 of certain stocks. And I just couldn't build out a position. Now I can build out any single stock that I want in the growth market, it seems like. So right now we're in a good situation, I think. If you're looking long term, tell me that you think Peloton will stay at $82 for the next few years. They're growing revenue 100% a year. Tell me how that could be possible. Of course it could be possible, but you see my point, right? They're a sticky business. They are going to be high margin in the future. Hopefully they can cut down on some expenses that they have right now, but I think it's going to be a good company long term. And they're off their highs 50%. Like I said, you're not seeing prices like this for a long time before this. So while we have, we had these articles that made us really excited, this could be the SPAC of the decade, and this was at pretty much all-time highs, I believe, for GHVI. Let's see, February, yeah, right in here. It was in the late teens, early 20s. While we had articles like that come out, and now they've fallen 50%, we're not seeing the excitement we did before, but we're in a very good situation because we're buying the same company, if not better companies, because a lot of these have reported better earnings, and it's cheaper. So let me know what you guys think about this down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you for hitting the like button, the subscribe button, all those buttons. Also, there are crypto scammers in the comments, so feel free to yell at them if you feel like it. They're in every single video, it seems like. So if you guys don't mind doing that, also there is that link down to Webull and BlockFi. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.